Hello, my name is Claire. Welcome back to my channel. For this week's video, I'm going to be doing a family cabin in the world of Glimmerbooks that came with the Outdoor Retreat pack. I'm also going to be using the Growing Together expansion pack and the Cozy Campers kit. I think that's the name of the kit, but the items in that kit do have like little backyard camping items, and I thought that'd be kind of fun to incorporate into this cabin. I had the idea that this cabin would be a family cabin that's been a 2 bedroom, 2 bathroom home, but recently the owners of the cabin have renovated it to include a kitchen bump out and a additional bedroom. So I want to just point out that the stone features of the exterior of this home is what I imagined what would be the bump out of the home. It was originally just going to be a log cabin, but with this family growing, they have also extended portions of their cabin. So we're going to be now in the drop zone mudroom entryway for the cabin. I was imagining that the arch into the rest of the home possibly could have been like the original door into the cabin, but with this mudroom entryway bump out, they just kind of took out the doors, but still have the wood frame to the rest of the house. And now we're just going back quickly into the front yard to add some bikes on the side of the stairs. I thought this was just kind of cute to have like a few bikes in the corner here. Like this family really enjoys being outside, and so we're just going to be kind of figuring out some interests or personality for the owners of each bike, but the bikes don't really follow anything I did in the bunk room for the kids, but maybe let's just say these bikes were rented from the convenience store. So we are just going to be adding a entryway rug back into the mudroom, and I do continue this rug into the rest of the cabin, but first we're going to be adding a little seating area. I had a little bit of trouble finding something to put on the square next to the chair of the cabin, but I do end up going with a little shoe rack. I was also imagining that in the cupboard with the owl and the flowers that would also be a shoe rack, but maybe this is just extra storage. This cabin is designed for a larger family. I was mentioning like grandparents would be in one bedroom, and then the parents would be in another bedroom, and then again there would be a bunk room, and that has 3 bunks in it, or 3 beds, 2 bunk beds, and then one just like loft bed. So we're just going to be now working on the living room space, and wanted this area to be nice and cozy for the Sims. I thought having a rocking chair was a nice cozy feature, and I did want to add a picture frame TV, just kind of like hide the technology. I imagine that being in this cabin, the Sims kind of want their kids to disconnect from the technology, and so I wanted the picture frame TV to be hidden amongst all of the other pictures. I do scale down the pictures at the end of the video just to fit a fireplace, because this home does have 2 chimneys, and so felt only appropriate to have at least one fireplace in this cabin. So we're just going to be adding some curtains. I love how these curtains cover the windows nicely, and it's a nice like movie blackout curtains almost. And I did want to also have some game board boxes, and I thought the best place to put them would be on this bookshelf by the entryway to the cabin. I figured that this bookshelf unit would probably be added with the stone additions. Maybe one of the parents is a interior designer, and so they've added a few more modern upgraded features into the cabin when the bump outs renovation was going on. So we're just going to be adding some books and going to just be doing a little bit of fiddling around with the bookshelf. And now we're going to be back in the living room. I kind of jump back and forth because I'm just kind of like making sure I don't want to have like little clutter items here, or should I have these little clutter items there. I didn't want to like repeat too many items. I do have tissue boxes in a few places, but that seems like something normal that you would have more than just one place, compared to like that giant bunny stuffed animal that I put in the living room. That does get moved into the bunk room, so we're just going to be now working on a dining area. I was mentioning that this dining area possibly could have been the original kitchen, and so since it is like the dining room, I wanted it to have it right next to the kitchen for convenience, and we're just going to be copying the rug from the entryway just to have that consistency. And we're just going to be adding some pictures, keeping it kind of simple over here in the dining room, and just going to be adding a little bit of decoration. But now we're going into the kitchen, which is a addition in my mind, and so we're just going to be adding these nice industrial countertops. And I wanted to have the kitchen kind of like in this little corner, but I realized it was a little small for a addition, and so I decided to have the refrigerator and the sink on this other wall with the longer window. I did want to have some wood aesthetics inside of the kitchen to help with the cabin with a bump out renovation story, and so I do have some logs wallpaper in the kitchen to just be like, oh, they just didn't have enough money to replace that wall with the wallpaper and wood details that you see throughout the house. So we're just going to be now working on an island. I do rotate it so from the dining room you don't see anything on the shelves, and we're just going to be adding some decorations now. I did add a cute little barrel trash can, and now we're just going to be adding a fire alarm and going to be adding these items onto the counter to make it feel like it's a nice busy day. Possibly like the family was a little bit rushed before they were going on a morning hike, and so things are still a little bit out in the open, and so we're just going to be adding a lot of different clutter items into the kitchen. I feel like there's a lot of good clutter items that come with the outdoor retreat kit, or I mean the outdoor retreat pack. I just don't always use them because I'm not trying to use the outdoor retreat pack, and so I just kind of forget about them. But now we are in the primary bedroom, or the first primary bedroom. I was imagining that this bedroom would be for the grandparents of the family, and so they are a little bit more separated from the rest of the family, more Sims who want to stay out up late watching movies, where the grandparents probably want to get to bed early, and so that's why I have a split floor plan for this home. And so we're just going to be adding some curtains And these are the same curtains I used in the living room just to have that consistency. I feel like having it in this nice beige color is a nice calmingness into the bedroom. And now we're going to be working on a rug, and then we're going to be heading into the ensuite. It is a 3/4 bathroom, which means there is a toilet, a shower, and a sink. I was imagining that this bathroom was like an original half bath or powder room of the cabin, but with the renovation, they bumped it out just a little bit to make it a 3/4 bathroom. So we're just going to be adding a few different rustic items into the bathroom. Very simple in there, but this bedroom also has a private balcony, so I decided to have a little truss board out here and a art easel out here for your Sims to have a little bit of skill building items out here. So we're just going to be adding that art easel and going to putting it on the outside corner of the cabin. So if your Sims have the ability to like paint the scenery or paint what's around them, it's a little bit easier for the camera to see like their surroundings. So now we are in the second primary bedroom, which is designed for the parents or the child of the grandparents. So we're just going to be having this color theme be red, and I was trying to go for a more modern upscale in this bedroom because of the storyline that possibly one of the parents could be an interior designer. So I felt like having these suitcases just as a fun little storytelling feature, like they're here for the week. I have also done the outdoor retreat themed hotel. I did this last summer, so if you haven't seen that video, you can go back in my YouTube videos and check that video out. And we're just now going to be adding some more family pictures into the room. I wanted to add these pictures that you can like insert the pictures yourself, so technically it's just the frame, but I feel like it would be fun again for that like storytelling feature where it's like family pictures or possibly pictures that your Sims took out hiking. And so now we're going into the primary bathroom for this ensuite. You guys see me quickly do the private balcony for this bedroom. So kind of a nice feature is both bedrooms or both primary bedrooms have a private balcony patio space off of them. So we're just going to be adding a little clutter items into the bathroom. I kind of wanted to keep the red theme going throughout this space, and so the bed I chose was kind of like the inspiration for the rest of the space or the rest of the primary bedroom. And so we're just going to be adding some curtains. And now we're going to be heading into the hall bathroom that would also be servicing the bunk room. I imagine that this is the original bathroom of the cabin, so we're just going to be adding all of the usual bathroom things in here. If you're new to my channel, this is my favorite layout of the bathrooms. If you're not new to my channel, you probably already know this. So if you are new, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I post new videos every single Tuesday. And if you want to see me build something specific, that would honestly really help me out. So make sure to leave a comment down below. And if you like what you see here. Again, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much to those who have hit the subscribe button. We have reached our goal of 160 subscribers, and so I feel like it's only appropriate to set a new goal of 170 subscribers. Again, I just want to say a big, big thank you to those who have subscribed, those who come watching my videos every single week, and it does mean so much to me, more than words can describe. So now we are going into the hallway space. I want to have like a desk area and going to be just adding a little bit of decoration on here. I didn't want to have any computers on this desk. It's mostly just like a journaling slash workspace for this area, and I kind of wanted to imagine that the open book on the right hand side is like the guest book, but then I had to remind myself that this cabin is mostly just for one family. Maybe they do like give the keys to like family friends, but it's really just this family that they can spend time with their kids and their grandkids. So we're just going to be now in the bunk room, and so I wanted to have a movie projection item in this space for some late night movies, and I wanted to add this one from the camper kid kit because it looks like the kids kind of jury rigged it themselves, and so we're just going to be adding these suitcases because the other two bedrooms had suitcases, and I thought it was just kind of cute to kind of help bring some personality into the space. And I just gotta say, I really think this wallpaper is the cutest wallpaper. I like never use it because it's a little bit heavy, but I really think it works in this space. So we're just going to be adding a wardrobe. It's the same wardrobe as in the second primary bedroom, but I thought it was good for consistency, and it just kind of needed something small to go right there. And so we're just going to be adding a little bit of seating for the kids to watch a movie around, and we're just going to be adding a lot of like different tree stencils into this room. I feel like it helped bring in the nature and some fun into this bedroom. And so we're just going to be finishing up this wall decalness, and I did want to add a side table for the bunk bed that's more ground level, but I couldn't find anything skinny enough, so I just kind of ditched that idea of having a side table and just add more decals. So we're just going to be finishing up this bedroom, trying to make this space a nice fun area for the kids to hang out in, possibly for like a rainy day. But now we are heading on to the outside of the backyard. So first we're going to be adding a grill, and we're going to be adding a picnic bench. I think my favorite part of this backyard is the fire pit and the horseshoe throwing game. I did purposely put it facing that direction, so if your Sims ever like throw it out of bounds, it won't break a window. Your Sims can't actually throw horseshoes out of bounds, but I was still kind of had that like realistic mindset. It's better to have the horseshoe throwing game facing the river instead of the cabin. So here we are working on the fire pit. I like how this fire pit looks like rustic. It is from the outdoor retreat pack, and the camping chairs are a mix from outdoor retreat and the kid camper kit. So we're just going to be adding these benches for the parents and the grandparents, and then the kids get the funner kid themed camping chairs. So we're just going to be adding a little art station for them and going to be adding this cute little swing set. And I do switch out the chairs on this game table. I want to go for something a little bit more rustic, and these just look kind of too clean. So I wanted to go for these chairs that came with the kids camper kit. Again, I can't remember the name of that kit, but you can either correct me in the comments or check the description to find the full correct name of the kit. It's just slipping my mind right now, so sorry. We're just going to be adding a little kids radio. I do have a little like play corner for the kids out here, so I wanted to include the rocket ship lantern and going to be adding a little s'mores station out here by the fire pit, and we're just going to be adding a rug into the bunk room. Also be adding these cool custom pillows from the kids camper kit, and we're just going to be finishing up in the bunk room. As I was using the kids camper kit outside, I was remembering like I planned a few things to go inside, and it's kind of why we were going back and forth. But we are now in the final space of the cabin, which is this little play corner. Similar to how I said that the kids jury-rigged a movie projection screen, I imagine that they made this little fort out of the blankets. So we're just going to be adding a little bit of terrain paint just to like give it a little bit of detail that this is a nice fun play space that gets used. And before we head into the screenshots of the video, we're going to be adding a fireplace into the cabin. So if you enjoyed watching, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. If you enjoyed watching and want to see more from me, you can hit that subscribe button. I post new videos every single Tuesday, and if you have any build suggestions for me, make sure to leave them down in the comments. If you want to play in this cabin, you can find it on the Sims 4 gallery. All of the information will be down in the description. So I hope to see you all next week for another Sims 4 video. Bye!